Welcome to the first Adobe InDesign lesson. In this lesson, basically what we're going to be going over is just creating a product from start to finish. Now, I know this might sound a little bit intimidating, especially because we haven't talked about the program at all. And basically the point of this is I'm just going to try to show you that this program isn't, something that only experts can use. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be creating something and you're going to be trying to mimic along with me. So I'm going to be going slow, explaining each one of the little steps that I do. And we're going to create a neat little end product. And the reason we're doing this is, like I said, I'm trying to show you that this program, you can just click a couple buttons, and as long as you know how some of these buttons work, you can start to create your own documents right from scratch. So in this tutorial, just follow along. If you get frustrated, if something doesn't make sense, you get stuck somewhere, don't worry, just skip the tutorial. We're going to cover everything that we cover in this tutorial in detail later on. So like I said, if something frustrates you at all, just skip the tutorial and we will come back and sort of go over it in later lectures and lessons. And then what would actually be kind of neat is once you finish the course, to come back to this tutorial and see how easy all of it actually is, like how quickly you learned, and now this is something that you can actually create on your own. So let's just get started on this. Like I said, just follow along with what I'm doing. Step by step, pause it if you need to stop and make a move, and then keep replaying it. And like I said, if you get really, really frustrated on something, just skip the video. We're going to be covering everything in the future. I just wanted to kind of show you that we can all create something really, really unique and fun right off the bat. So the first thing we need to do is just open up InDesign. So find it on your desktop, open it up, and you'll be presented with a screen like so. And this screen is basically just telling us how to start a project. So back here we have some of the projects we've worked on, and then over here we can create a new one. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the create new button right here. And what we need to do is we need to go into print. So up here you have recent saved print. We're going to go to print, and we're going to go to letter, blank document presets. We're going to click on letter. We're going to just let it set all the settings over here. You can give it a name if you would like. So we'll just put this one as first example. And then I'm going to just hit create. And now we are inside of Adobe InDesign. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add a neat little picture here to the top. So I'm going to go over to the left bar over here, and you'll see that there's this square here. It's about halfway down the bar. And if you hold it, you'll see that other shapes come up. So maybe yours looks like that, or maybe it looks like an ellipse. We're just going to look for the rectangle tool. I'm going to go up to the top, so I'm going to click on this tool. I'm going to go up to the top left here. And if the margin doesn't look exactly like this, that's fine. Just try to sort of go along with what I'm doing and just make a general shape that sort of looks like this. So we're going to go up to the top left, and I'm going to click and drag it out. And I'm going to make it go maybe right about here. Nothing really specific. It says a width of 45p and a height of 12p. So if you want to get exact, those are the numbers right up here, these two numbers right like so. So now that we have this rectangle here, we're going to click on the rectangle, and to click on it, you can click on the edge right over here. And once you have these boxes up here, you have a selection of the rectangle. We're going to go up to File, and then go down to Place. And then you'll notice in the course project files in Unit 1, we have a Pictures folder, and we have 3 pictures right here. I want to click on the one with the water, 385 right here. I'm going to click open, and you'll notice that it places the image in here, but it looks very pixelated. So what we have here is we have a frame where we want the image to show up, and inside, if I click on this little circle, this double circle, it'll select the image itself. What we want to do is we want to take this image, and you'll see that it's this brown box right here, and it's way too large for our frame. So we want to shrink this image down so it fits in our plane. So what I'm going to do is click on the edge. I'm going to hold the shift key. So click, then hold shift. And now when I move it, what you'll notice, it doesn't allow me to stretch it. So if I wasn't holding shift, it would allow me to do this. I don't want it to do that because you can see it squishes the image all weirdly. So I'm going to hold the shift key to make it keep the resolution, to make it keep the aspect ratio. And we're just going to shrink it down to maybe right about here. Now I'm going to move this picture back into the area right here. So I'm going to click on this circle in the center. You'll notice when I click it, it's going to allow me to move the image. If I don't click on this circle, I'm going to move the text box or the frame box itself, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click on the circle, and I'm going to drag the image over. And you'll notice that we have some areas on the left over here, but that doesn't matter because all we want is that this box to be represented with this water in here. And the water is kind of the end goal here, is I wanted to use this photo so I can grab its water and add a neat little top to this. Now that we have this placed, we're going to go over to the text tool or the type tool, and I'm going to click and drag a box out right here, just inside this somewhere. And now I'm going to type C adventure, like so. And I want to make sure that this text gets a little bit larger. So we're going to click on the text box and make this cursor blink at the bottom here. I'm going to then highlight backwards to highlight the entirety of the text. And then we're going to move up to the top right here, and there's this little t and a big T. And we're going to make the T bigger. So we're just going to keep clicking up until it gets to a size that we like. We can also hold it, but when you hold it, you're not going to see the change. So you want to just kind of do it until you get close. And so now right about there is where we want it. And so now let's click on the text box and make sure the cursor is still blinking. And we're going to go to the top left now. And this is how it's going to be aligned. So we don't want it to be aligned onto the left side of the box. We want it to be aligned into the center of the box. So we're going to click the center right there. Then we're going to click back on the selection tool, which is this very top tool right here. We're going to click on this text box, and I'm just going to shrink it down. And this just helps us because now it's going to judge this is the end of the text, which is what we want. I'm then going to take this and I'm going to drag it downward. You see that there's that purple line that appears in the center. That means the text is perfectly centered, and that's what we want. And I'm going to drag it down until I get that green line, which means now we're perfectly centered within the within the picture of the water. I'm then going to double click onto the text. So if it's unselected, if we double click on here, or even single click if you have the text tool already selected, it's going to select the text again. So I'm going to go to the right. I'm going to highlight it all once more. And then I'm going to move to the bottom left over here, and you'll see that there's this color sort of palette. I'm going to double click on that, and it'll open up the color panel right here. If this was not already opened, it'll probably pop up like maybe right over here, and you can just click it. So if it pops up right here, you can click it and drag it over here until there's this little blue bar, and then now it's open up on the side. And all we're going to do is we're going to take this slider and slide it all the way to the left, and that's going to make our text white. And we can change the font here as well if we wanted to. So if we go up here, maybe we wanted to make it bold. So let's go bold condensed like so. And yeah, that looks a little bit better. So all of the fonts are all right up here. You can Control A or highlight all of it to change the font. And then you can actually scroll your mouse wheel right up here to just test out different fonts and see how they look. So we're going to stick with the bold condensed like so. And now if we click the W key on our keyboard, so W, it's going to show us what the end result looks like. And this is looking pretty good. So what we're going to do next is we're going to click on this box. Yeah, we're going to click on this box, and we're going to go up here and we're going to make this 2. What that's going to do is it's going to add a little border around the edges here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the left over here to the line tool, down beneath the text tool. We're going to click somewhere near the center. We're going to click once. Click once. Hold that Shift key again. Shift is really important in this program because it allows you to keep lines. And we're going to go straight down. You notice if I don't hold the Shift key, it'll make a line wherever I end up. But if I hold the Shift key, it makes it a perfect straight line no matter how far off I deviate from that center. And then we're going to just drop it somewhere about this length. Now we're going to click it, and we're going to have it lock into that middle line like the text did, and this will make sure that it's in the perfect center of the page. So we're going to drag it maybe to like right here. That looks pretty good. And maybe we'll make it a size 2 as well. And now we're going to click on the type tool over here again, and we're going to click and drag out a text box. Maybe like so, some sort of size here. I'm going to click on this text box, and then I'm going to click Command or Control on a computer, Control C, Control V, and it's going to copy and paste the text box. If that didn't work, you can hit copy right here, and then you can right click anywhere and hit paste, and it'll do the exact same thing. So we've copied and pasted this. Now we're going to move one of these boxes over so that they're perfectly aligned. And now you see that when I move it over like so, that in the bottom, look near the bottom of the text boxes, there are those little green arrows, and that says that it is the right text box is the exact distance from the left text box. So we're going to go ahead and drop that down. And now we have 2 text boxes that are looking pretty good here. And now let's fill them with some text. I don't want to write out a bunch of random text, so what we can do is we can right click on this and go to fill with placeholder text. Same with this one, right click, go to fill with placeholder text. And now we have a bunch of placeholder text, lorem ipsum text, which is just random gibberish Italian, or not Italian, Latin. That's just going to be put into here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go up into this rectangle tool once again. And we're just going to drag out a rectangle in here, like so. And now, once the rectangle is selected, we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Place. And we're going to choose our first image here, 315. I'm going to click Open, and you'll see it opens it up in the rectangle, like the rectangle up here. I'm going to right-click on this, making sure that the rectangle is selected. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to go to Fitting, and I'm going to go to Fit Content to Frame. And what that's going to do is it's going to fit the picture into the frame like so. And then now I'm going to go up to Window, and I want to have the text wrap or on right here. So this one right here. So I'm going to click on that, and it'll open it up. It might open it up like so. Again, we can just drag it over and click this open. I want to select this option right here, Jump Object, and you'll see that it looks a little bit better like so. We'll discuss all of these buttons in a later tutorial. So now we have this selected. It allows us to have this beautiful picture put in between the text here. And we're going to make sure that this is sort of centered in here, and you'll see that that green line is what I'm going for. I'm then going to click on this text box, hit Control-C, Control-V, or the earlier method of copy, paste. And we're going to drag this one down to here. And you'll notice that the text is a little bit close on this one. So I'm going to go back over to the text wrap. I'm going to increase the top by a little bit just to push it into the next line. The padding is right here, so I increase the padding. And now let's change the image. So I'm going to click on this text box, or this frame, this picture box. I'm going to hit File. I'm going to hit go down to Place. And then I'm going to click on the last one, Lake Garda Pictures, right like so. And there you have it. Now I'm going to click W once again, and we have our little mock document created. Just like that, with just a couple of buttons, a couple of movements, some pictures thrown in there, we have this really neat sort of sea adventure document, which just might detail like, you know, a pamphlet of a travel trip or something like that. But like I said, it's really easy to create. There was nothing magical or any math or any weird stuff we had to do. All it was that I knew the buttons that I needed to click to create this document. And that's all we're going to be teaching you in this course. It's just letting you understand, how does this program work? What buttons do I need to click? What settings do I need to set to create the document that's in my mind? That's all these programs are. And so I hope that you're able to follow along with this tutorial. If you got lost or stuck, remember, it's not important that you understand every single thing in this video. Everything I covered in this video is going to be covered in a later lesson in full detail. All I was trying to show you is that you are perfectly capable of creating anything you want in this document, and you can. And at the end of the course, you're going to be able to create something like this through your mind, just like I did. So thanks everyone for joining me on this, and I cannot wait to see you in the next unit and lectures, where we're going to be jumping into InDesign and we're going to be discussing everything in depth.